I'm Gökçe YİİTEL. I was born in Istanbul and I'm based there at the moment. Normally I don't call myself activist. I call myself artist. I discovered the 70s performance acts while I was studying theater, alongside the discourses of Judith Butler and Donna Haraway. And as a performer, I was trained to be conscious about my body, the space that my body occupies, and all the other bodies occupying the same space with me. But this time it was more about testing the limits of my body, the boundaries like physical, sensorial, and the psychological boundaries of my body, to push them in order to observe what emerges. So it was like exhausting it to unlearn it. During the theater practice, I really enjoyed the fact that I can act out different characters, actually. And it was all built upon different body language, the use of voice and breath. So you can put on different gowns of identities. But this time it was like stripping the body off from all the characters it had embodied, including my very own, which is so-called the genuine one. The focus of my research is the space as body. The constructed space complementing the constructed body. So it's like the dynamics of space as body and the force it exerted on the human body. So this led me to intervention performances in public spaces, and all those intervention performances concerned with heteronormativity, binary gender formation, and the fictions told as the truth of our bodies, depending on his story, let's say. You can dress up like a man or a woman, and you can move in space, feminine or masculine. It's all up to you, actually. I never thought about exhausting a feminine or masculine body when I was moving in space, and when I was moving with my colleagues in the same space, actually. It was whatever you got as a boundary, everyone tried to push it further in order to see what comes out of it, because it was like, especially there was a workshop that I attended years ago. It was all about moving and moving and moving, and then dropping like dead, completely exhausted on the floor, and then you start to improvise from there with the music. So out of that exhaustion, and all limbs are trembling, your mind gets out of the thoughts or the memorized way of moving. So another kind of quality comes out of it, I would say. If you force your body, exhaust it, you can be out of your body, all the learned movements and habits. I tried to do that. I tried to make a research about it. I was born to a family of women, all women, like there are 4 sisters. And among them, 2 of them never got married. They didn't have any husbands. My mother, the youngest, she got married twice and then got divorced immediately. And she accidentally gave birth to me, actually, at the age of 21 after having 2 abortions. Okay, and this was I was quite lucky being in this family, because I was brought up unconventionally and I didn't have the limitation that most of my fellows did. And I was quite naive to believe that everyone was alike. And I thought that everyone, no one had to name themselves either a boy or a girl, and I believe that everyone could be with anyone they are fond of, yani beyond the assigned gender. I felt so cozy and protected in that community because it was so familiar. Everyone was so familiar. But once my mom had to flee Istanbul because there was a warrant out for her and the police were looking for her. So we had to leave Istanbul and move to another city on the Aegean coast on Western Turkey. Then I realized the fact. That was the first time when I was at the age of 8. I realized that buzzing community, the chosen family of my mother actually, was also a shield for us. Not only her unique taste of living, but it was a shield against assaults that could come from outside. Years later, when I come across the discourses of the people that I was telling you, Butler and Haraway and Preciado, then especially at the university when I was studying theater, then I could name it as the heteronormativity, and that we were named as a whore and a freak while I was living with my mom as a duo all throughout my childhood. So it was like, if you're out of this heteronormativity, this heterosexual norm, if you divert from that, you're immediately stigmatized as a pervert or a violation for the moral law. If you work on these notions of heteronormativity and binary gender formation, then it's inevitably what you produce can be read as an activism as well. Now mainly work on Jetz. Jetz is a collective. And it is also an online publication and exhibition space that Daria and I founded 5 years ago with 4 artists and activist friends, fellows, who actively produce and are involved in the human rights movements as well. So what we dream of establishing with Jetz is to gather the ideas, approaches, and works of artists and also the scientists, all from different disciplines, so they can come together and they can propose tools for today's activism. Everything is fragmented in today's life. Everything is separated into small compartments. Everyone does their own thing in her own field of work or study, and they don't interact with each other. That's how I feel. So the activism and artistic production, they're separated from each other like every other disciplines. That's what feminism means to me, is weaving them again back together. So to come up with a better answer or a better action that can support the lacking of this system, this capitalist system exploiting all our lives, which is similar for everyone, more or less.